If you are diabetic and you do this one thing every morning on an empty stomach, you are literally destroying your eyesight cell by cell, and you have no idea it's happening. Right now, as you watch this video, millions of diabetics around the world are making this exact same mistake, and within the next 5 to 10 years, they will be dealing with partial or complete blindness. The terrifying part is that this habit seems completely harmless. In fact, most people think it's actually healthy. Your doctor has probably never warned you about it. Your family does it. Your friends do it. Even health experts recommend it. But for someone with diabetes, this single morning ritual is like injecting poison directly into the delicate blood vessels of your eyes. I'm about to reveal something that will completely change how you start your mornings and potentially save your vision. But first, you need to understand exactly what's happening inside your body right now, and why this particular time of day is the most dangerous 24 hours for any diabetic. What I'm going to share with you isn't just medical information. It's a life-changing revelation that could be the difference between seeing your grandchildren grow up and living in permanent darkness. Before we dive deep into this critical information that could save your sight, I need you to do something that will help thousands of other diabetics discover this truth. Hit that like button right now. When you like this video, YouTube shows it to more people who desperately need this information. Someone watching this video right now could be making this exact mistake tomorrow morning, and your simple click could save their vision. Also, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell, because what I'm going to share over the next few minutes is just the beginning. There are other hidden dangers lurking in your daily routine that are silently destroying your health, and I'll be exposing them in upcoming videos. Now, let me paint a picture that might sound familiar. You wake up in the morning, maybe you're feeling a bit groggy, your blood sugar might be a little elevated from the night before, and you reach for something that you believe will help you start your day right. You consume it on an empty stomach, thinking you're doing something good for your body. You might even feel energized afterward. But what you don't realize is that you've just triggered a cascading series of events inside your body that will systematically destroy the microscopic blood vessels in your retina. Here's what makes this so insidious. The damage doesn't happen immediately. You don't feel pain. You don't see flashing lights. You don't experience any symptoms at all. The destruction is happening at the cellular level, so slowly and quietly, that by the time you notice any changes in your vision, it's often too late to reverse the damage. This is why diabetic retinopathy is called the silent thief of sight. It steals your vision one microscopic blood vessel at a time, and this morning habit is accelerating that process at an alarming rate. But here's where it gets truly frightening. The morning hours represent the most vulnerable time for your entire circulatory system. When you wake up, your body has been in a fasting state for 8 to 12 hours. Your blood sugar levels are in a delicate balance. Your blood vessels are more sensitive to sudden changes. Your body's natural defense mechanisms are just starting to wake up along with you. This is when your system is most susceptible to damage. And this is exactly when most people make this critical mistake. Think about the last time you had an eye exam. Did your doctor mention anything about tiny hemorrhages or changes in your retinal blood vessels? Did they use words like mild changes or early signs that you didn't think much about? Those seemingly small changes are actually major warning signs that this process is already underway. Every morning that you continue this habit, you're making those changes worse. You're adding fuel to a fire that's already burning inside your eyes. The medical community has known about this connection for years, but somehow, this information never makes it to the people who need it most. Diabetics are told to watch their diet, monitor their blood sugar, take their medication, but they're rarely warned about the specific timing of when they consume certain substances. The when is just as important as the what, especially when it comes to protecting your vision. And the most heartbreaking part is that this is completely preventable. I've seen too many patients who come to me after they've already lost significant vision. And when we trace back through their daily habits, this morning mistake shows up every single time. They tell me the same story. They were doing everything they thought was right. They were following their doctor's orders. They were taking their medication. But nobody ever told them about this one critical timing issue that was sabotaging all their other efforts. Your eyes contain some of the smallest, most delicate blood vessels in your entire body. These tiny capillaries in your retina are so narrow that red blood cells have to line up single file to pass through them. When your blood sugar spikes suddenly, especially on an empty stomach, it's like forcing a traffic jam through these microscopic pathways. The vessels stretch, they leak, they become damaged, and over time, they simply stop functioning. But that's not even the worst part. When these tiny blood vessels are damaged, your body tries to repair them by growing new ones. You might think that sounds like a good thing, but these new blood vessels are weak and abnormal. They grow in places where they shouldn't grow. They leak blood and fluid into your retina. They can even pull on your retina and cause it to detach. This is how a simple morning habit can eventually lead to complete blindness. What makes this situation even more dangerous is that it's happening right now. As you're watching this video, if you made this mistake this morning, the damage is actively occurring inside your eyes. The inflammatory response has been triggered. Your blood vessels are under stress. The process that leads to vision loss is in motion. But here's the thing that gives me hope, and the reason I'm making this video. Understanding what's happening is the first step toward stopping it. I need you to think about your typical morning routine. Really visualize it step by step. You wake up, maybe you brush your teeth, and then what's the first thing you put into your body? Is it something liquid? Is it something you believe is healthy? Is it something that gives you energy or makes you feel alert? Is it something that millions of other people consume every single morning without thinking twice about it? The substance I'm talking about causes your blood sugar to spike higher and faster than almost anything else you could consume. When this happens on an empty stomach, the spike is even more dramatic and more dangerous. Your pancreas goes into overdrive trying to produce enough insulin to handle this sudden surge. Your blood vessels dilate and contract rapidly. Inflammatory chemicals flood your bloodstream, and your retinal blood vessels, those tiny, delicate pathways that carry oxygen and nutrients to the cells responsible for your vision, bear the brunt of this metabolic chaos. Here's something that will shock you. Many diabetics who develop retinopathy have relatively well-controlled blood sugar throughout most of the day. Their average glucose levels might look good on their lab tests. Their hemoglobin A1C might be within acceptable ranges, but they're still losing their vision because of these repeated morning blood sugar spikes that nobody is paying attention to. The damage isn't caused by sustained high blood sugar. It's caused by these sudden dramatic fluctuations that happen when you consume the wrong thing at the wrong time. This is why timing is everything. The same substance that might be relatively harmless later in the day becomes a vision-destroying toxin when consumed first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Your body's ability to handle this substance is completely different when you haven't eaten for hours versus when you have food in your system to slow down absorption and moderate the blood sugar response. I want you to imagine for a moment what your life would be like if you couldn't see the faces of the people you love. What would it be like if you couldn't read, couldn't drive, couldn't enjoy a sunset or a beautiful landscape? What would it be like if you had to depend on others for basic daily activities that you take for granted right now? This isn't meant to scare you unnecessarily. This is meant to help you understand the real stakes involved in the choice you make every single morning. But what if I told you that this entire devastating process could be stopped with one simple change? What if I told you that thousands of diabetics have already made this change and have not only stopped the progression of retinopathy, but have actually seen improvements in their vision? What if I told you that this change doesn't require expensive treatments, doesn't require surgery, doesn't require any dramatic lifestyle overhaul, and can be implemented starting tomorrow morning. The solution is so simple that when I first learned about it, I almost couldn't believe it was real. But the science is solid, the results are consistent, and the logic is undeniable once you understand what's really happening inside your body. During those critical morning hours, right now, you're probably trying to guess what this morning habit is. You might be thinking about coffee, or juice, or fruit, or maybe even certain medications or supplements. You're running through your morning routine in your mind, trying to identify the culprit. And you should be doing that, because awareness is the first step toward change. The truth is, what you're consuming every morning is creating a perfect storm of conditions that lead directly to diabetic retinopathy. It's triggering inflammation, damaging blood vessels, overwhelming your body's natural protective mechanisms, and setting in motion a chain of events that, once started, becomes increasingly difficult to stop. Every single day that you continue this habit, you're rolling the dice with your vision. And eventually, those dice are going to come up against you. But before I reveal exactly what this substance is and show you the simple way to neutralize its dangerous effects, I need to make sure you understand just how critical the next few minutes of this video are going to be for your future. Everything you thought you knew about protecting your vision as a diabetic is about to change. The morning habit that's stealing your sight is something that 90% of diabetics do without ever questioning its safety. It's something that's been marketed to you as healthy, natural, and beneficial. It's something that your doctor has probably never specifically warned you about in the context of your diabetes. And it's something that creates the most dangerous blood sugar spike possible when consumed on an empty stomach. I'm talking about drinking fruit juice first thing in the morning. Yes, that innocent glass of orange juice, apple juice, grape juice, or any other fruit juice that you reach for when you wake up is literally destroying your retinal blood vessels one sip at a time. Even the so-called healthy versions, the ones labeled as natural, organic, or freshly squeezed, are causing catastrophic damage to your eyes when consumed by a diabetic on an empty stomach. Here's why this is so devastating. Fruit juice is essentially liquid sugar with all the fiber removed. When you drink it on an empty stomach, there's nothing to slow down the absorption. The fructose and glucose hit your bloodstream like a tsunami. Your blood sugar doesn't gradually rise, it rockets upward in a matter of minutes. And those delicate, retinal blood vessels that we talked about, they're suddenly flooded with this glucose-rich blood that they simply cannot handle. But the damage goes far beyond just a blood sugar spike. Fructose, which makes up a significant portion of fruit juice, is processed differently than other sugars. It doesn't require insulin to enter your cells, which means it bypasses your body's normal regulatory mechanisms. It heads straight to your liver, where it's converted into fat, and in the process, it creates advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, which are toxic compounds that directly damage blood vessels. When you combine this fructose assault with the empty stomach environment, you create what researchers call a perfect inflammatory storm. Your blood vessels become inflamed. Your endothelium, which is the protective lining of your blood vessels, becomes damaged, and your retinal capillaries begin a process of deterioration that accelerates with every single morning that you repeat this habit. I need you to understand something crucial here. A single glass of orange juice contains the equivalent sugar of eating 6 to 8 whole oranges, but without any of the fiber that would normally slow down absorption and moderate the blood sugar response. When you eat a whole orange, the fiber creates a matrix that releases the sugars slowly over time. When you drink orange juice, especially on an empty stomach, it's like mainlining sugar directly into your bloodstream. And here's what makes this even more insidious. The food industry has convinced us that fruit juice is healthy because it comes from fruit. They've marketed it as a source of vitamins, antioxidants, and natural goodness. But they never mention the timing factor. They never mention what happens when diabetics consume concentrated fruit sugars on an empty stomach. They never mention the devastating impact on retinal blood vessels. Many of my patients tell me they switched from soda to fruit juice, thinking they were making a healthy choice. They thought they were doing something good for their diabetes. But the truth is, for a diabetic consuming it first thing in the morning, fruit juice can be even more dangerous than soda because of how quickly the natural fruit sugars are absorbed and how dramatically they spike blood glucose levels. Think about this for a moment. When was the last time you had your morning juice and then checked your blood sugar an hour later? Most diabetics never make this connection because they're not monitoring their glucose immediately after consuming juice. They might check it before meals or at bedtime, but they miss seeing the dramatic spike that happens in those first 60 to 90 minutes after drinking juice on an empty stomach. But here's where everything changes. The solution to this problem is remarkably simple, and it doesn't require you to give up everything you enjoy. It's about timing, preparation, and understanding how your body processes different substances at different times of the day. Once you understand these principles, you can protect your vision while still enjoying the foods and drinks you love. The first and most important change you can make starting tomorrow morning is this. Never consume any liquid calories on an empty stomach. This means no fruit juice, no smoothies, no flavored coffee drinks, no sports drinks, nothing with sugar or fruit in it until you've eaten solid food first. Instead, when you wake up, drink a large glass of plain water. Follow that with a small serving of protein and healthy fat. This could be a handful of nuts, a hard-boiled egg, some Greek yogurt, or even a piece of cheese. The protein and fat will slow down the absorption of anything else you consume afterward, and they'll help stabilize your blood sugar throughout the morning. Here's the transformation that happens when you make this change. Instead of starting your day with a glucose roller coaster that damages your blood vessels, you begin with stable blood sugar that allows your retinal capillaries to function normally. Instead of triggering inflammation first thing in the morning, you're creating an environment that supports healing and repair. Instead of overwhelming your pancreas with an impossible task, you're giving it the gradual, manageable challenge it was designed to handle. Within just 2 weeks of making this change, most people notice improvements in their energy levels, their mood stability throughout the day, and their overall sense of well-being. But the most important changes are happening invisibly inside your eyes. Those damaged blood vessels are getting a chance to heal. The inflammatory processes are calming down. The progression toward retinopathy is slowing or even stopping entirely. I've seen diabetics who were told they would inevitably lose their vision, make this simple change, and maintain stable, healthy retinas for years afterward. I've seen people whose retinopathy had already begun actually see improvements in their retinal photographs after consistently following this morning protocol. Now, if you want to enjoy fruit juice, here's how to do it safely. Wait until at least 2 hours after you've eaten a substantial breakfast that includes protein, healthy fats, and fiber-rich carbohydrates. At that point, your digestive system is actively working. Your blood sugar is stable, and your body is much better equipped to handle the natural sugars in fruit juice without creating dangerous spikes. Even better, dilute your juice with water. Mix half juice with half water, or even 1 part juice to 2 parts water. You'll still get the flavor you enjoy, but you'll dramatically reduce the sugar concentration and the impact on your blood vessels. Add a pinch of sea salt and a squeeze of lemon to enhance the flavor and provide additional electrolytes. But here's something even more powerful than just changing when you drink juice. Consider replacing fruit juice entirely with whole fruits that you eat slowly and mindfully. When you eat an orange instead of drinking orange juice, you get all the vitamins and antioxidants, plus the fiber that protects your blood vessels, plus the satisfaction of actually chewing and eating rather than just drinking empty calories. The transformation goes beyond just protecting your vision. When you stop starting your day with liquid sugar, you'll likely notice that your cravings for sweet foods throughout the day diminish significantly. Your energy levels become more stable. Your mood becomes more balanced. Your sleep quality often improves because your blood sugar isn't on a roller coaster all day long. Many of my patients report that this single change was the catalyst for taking better control of their diabetes overall. When they experienced firsthand how much better they felt by making this one simple adjustment, they became motivated to make other positive changes in their diet and lifestyle. This is about more than just preventing blindness, although that alone should be motivation enough. This is about taking control of your health in a way that empowers you and gives you hope for your future. This is about understanding that you have more power over your diabetes than you might have realized. Your vision is irreplaceable. Once retinal blood vessels are severely damaged, once retinopathy has progressed to advanced stages, once bleeding or retinal detachment has occurred, the damage is often permanent. No amount of medication, no surgical intervention, no future medical breakthrough can give you back the vision you lose to diabetic retinopathy. But you have the power right now, today, to prevent that from happening. You have the knowledge to make a simple change that could save your sight and transform your relationship with your diabetes. The question is, what are you going to do with this information? Tomorrow morning, when you wake up and feel that familiar urge to reach for your usual fruit juice, I want you to remember this moment. I want you to remember what you learned about your retinal blood vessels and the choice you have in front of you. I want you to choose your vision over a momentary taste preference. The truth is, your health is worth more than any temporary pleasure. Your ability to see the people you love, to enjoy the beauty of the world around you, to maintain your independence and quality of life, these things are priceless. And protecting them requires nothing more than changing the timing of when you consume certain foods and drinks. I hope this information empowers you to take control of your diabetes in a new way. I hope it helps you understand that small changes can have profound impacts on your long-term health. And I hope it motivates you to value your vision enough to make this simple but crucial adjustment to your morning routine. But is that all? What else can be revealed about the hidden dangers lurking in your daily routine that are silently destroying your health? What other simple changes could save you from devastating complications that your doctor never warned you about? Find out in the next videos. If this information has opened your eyes to something you never knew before, if it's potentially saved your vision or changed your perspective on managing your diabetes, consider leaving a super thanks to support this channel. Your financial help allows me to continue researching and bringing you more incredible revelations and life-saving information like this. Every super thanks helps this channel reach further and helps more people discover the truth about protecting their health. Thank you for watching, and remember, your vision is in your hands.